Hey everyone, welcome back to Girl Next Door and thank you so much for being here. So, we recently discussed the importance of relationships and one of their key functions. We differentiated between close relationships and instrumental relationships. Today, I want to dive a little bit deeper into our romantic relationships. So, what is it that you want and expect from your partner? Seriously, think about it for a second. What do you want from them? And also, do you even know what they want from you? Considering that people tend to live life on autopilot, and the fact that we also have a natural disposition towards trying to predict what's going to happen in every single situation, entirely based on our previous experiences, it's really important that we spend some time establishing what is it that we actually want and expect from people. As much as I hate it, we tend to repeat romantic patterns. And depending on our childhood, not exclusively of course, we will tend to have certain needs that we expect to be met. And especially when we're in a romantic relationship, some of those needs are going to have to be met by someone else. So after decades of research, we can finally distinguish between different varieties of love. And I'm doing this for a reason, but stay tuned for that. In the late 90s, Sternberg separated different types of love into layers. And he also managed to conclude the three main ingredients that help us to predict whether a relationship is going to last or simply break down after a few weeks. He put those three ingredients in a triangle and called it the theory of love. The triangle comprises of passion, intimacy, and commitment. Obviously, passion is the fiery, intense component of a relationship. Intimacy is the feeling of attachment, connection, and closeness. And commitment is kind of what combines the two, so you have the short-term and the long-term agreements for a possible future together. Based on the triangle, Sternberg actually came up with a few different types of love. And I'm sure some of you have been in these situations. First, we have non-love. This is where we have the absence of passion, intimacy, and commitment. And when you think about it, a lot of our relationships in life are a bit like that. Next is friendship. This is where the only ingredient present is intimacy. Infatuated love is where passion is present and intimacy and commitment are absent. And if you've ever had a crush, then you probably know what I mean. Empty love is where we only have commitment and intimacy and passion are gone. A very good example of that is an unhappy marriage where the only ingredient holding the couple together is literally the written agreement that they have. Fatuous love, where you have commitment and passion but without the intimacy. And I'm going to give you a bit of a mainstream example. Remember when Kim Kardashian married Chris Humphries and divorced him in about 70 days? This is what fatuous love is. Consummate love is what Sternberg calls the ideal love. However, he also claims that sadly it's not a permanent type of love. Maintaining it is actually harder than ever achieving it. According to this theory of love, we can conclude that romantic love that comprises of passion and intimacy without the commitment is relatively short-term in its longevity. However, when there is intimacy present on top of commitment, despite the absence or relative lack of passion, we're looking at a very positive prognosis for a long-term relationship. Put very simply, passion plus intimacy equals a short-term relationship, whereas intimacy plus commitment equals a long-term relationship. This is normally when things go wrong. I'm sure this is a scenario that a lot of us are probably familiar with. We've probably all been with someone for long enough that the passion, which used to make it really hard for us to do pretty much anything else apart from hump like bunnies, has started to decline. Instant panic. Even though everything else seems to be going great and there is a strong foundation of respect, mutual goals, connection. The fact that the passion is not what it used to be makes it really hard for us to actually think clearly. So many people break up perfectly good relationships exactly because they have fallen out of love, when in reality, something else has started to form. It's a bit crazy, and there's a reason for that. Another study done in the 80s distinguished between different types of relationships. We all know what it means to like someone. Most of our relationships in life are like that. However, we have companion love. And this type of love is normally reserved for the people that we actually spend our lives with. So romantic partners are exactly in that category. And romantic love or passionate love is, without a doubt, the most profound emotional attachment, combined with obsessive preoccupation with another human being. And on top of that, we also have intense physiological arousal. So if we were to describe companion love as a slow burn, then we could easily describe romantic or passionate love as fast burn. Although it may become companion love if the relationship continues to evolve, the intense physiological arousal is bound to decline. And some studies suggest that this period of time of intense physiological arousal and passion tends to last for roughly 2 months. I think one of the reasons why modern relationships especially fail so quickly and so often is that we all have developed a certain false sense of endless supply when it comes to anything. And relationships sadly don't fall in the category of things that are static. Our relationships are supposed to evolve, stages are supposed to end, doors are supposed to close so that other doors can open. If we don't know exactly what we want from people, then how are we supposed to know whether or not we're getting it? And if we don't know what to realistically expect from our relationships, how do we know whether we're moving in the right direction or not? This may be very basic for some people, but a lot of what is basic we tend to actually forget because it comes as a part of a very generic and standard equipment. People think they know what they want, but they let anything slide. Especially in nowadays society of completely erased boundaries, ego-driven mentality, and a false sense of freedom and security, knowing what you want and what you can give makes you a very, very rare breed. So, have you experienced any of the relationships that we talked about? And how would you describe your symptoms? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!